All right, Chris Anthony, once again, day number 3. You and I get to kind of recap the craziness from, we'll go back to the Super G from yesterday, and then we'll focus on what's happening today for that Giant Slalom. How about yesterday's turnout?
It was unbelievable. I mean, first of all, it was great to have the fans out here, considering it was just dumping all night and then all day, and then they delayed the race by an hour and a half, and they pulled it off thanks to the race crew and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
But they had to go from the reserve start, so it was a little bit lower, and it made for a shorter course, 1 minute. And you have the best skiers in the world, and really, you know, they're all so good, and it really showed when it got to the podium, because if you only have a minute-long course in a Super G, what ends up happening is you have a 3-way tie for third, which is remarkable, right down to the 100th of a second, which is only the 3rd time that that's happened in history in the World Cup. So the last time was in the 70s, I guess, in or in the 80s in Super G. So pretty amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing day today. Clear skies, cold temperatures, cold, fast snow, and a giant slalom. And we got a heated field again today for sure.
Yep. So it's men's giant slalom.
Yep.
2 runs. First run at 9:45. Second run will be the top 30, the qualifier from the first run, and then they'll reverse them. So whoever ends up getting the fastest run, the first run, goes 30th the second run.
Yeah.
And so that creates some drama.
Yeah, it does.
Because you really build up to that finish, and it's a really fun way. So if you're not going to come up here for the first run, definitely come up here for the second run.
For sure.
But come up here for the first run, because you then have the entire field, and hopefully all the Americans like Tommy Ford and Ted Ligety and Ryan Siegel, and of course Vail's River Radimus will all make that second run.
I hope
so. They'll all be in the but if not, make sure you're here for the first run. But we're looking forward to maybe Ted making a comeback. He's won here 4 times, been injured though for the last couple of years. Hirscher though, he's dominant. He's already dominant again this year.
100%.
And so I heard this stat last night. In the last 50 World Cup GSs, only 3 other guys have beat Hirscher and Ligety.
That's unreal.
That's how dominant these guys have been. And Ligaty's won 24 GSs and Hirscher's won 28. Still a ways off from Ingemar Stenmark, the great Stenmark, who won 46 GSs. So, but they're well on their way. But it's going to be a great day. Good blue skies, perfect snow conditions, lots of action.
Let's talk about the track today. Let's let people know what a GS is all about, and where we're going to find some of these racers that might be able to kind of, if they're scrubbing speed, where can they make it up, or where is it going to be tricky out there on the track today?
Well, first of all, the giant slalom is, of course, a shorter radius turn than the Super G and a longer radius turn than the slalom. It's definitely, there's quite a few specialists out there in it, but this is a difficult hill. There's a lot of transition changes from steeps to rollers to flats, and the big thing is if you mess up before a flat, say, you come out of the steep and blow it, you don't want to do that on the right before a flat.
You're scrubbing speed, and then you can't make it back. Yeah, right.
But there is areas, because of the difficulty of this course, where you can see somebody make it back up. The last pitch, they can straighten their line up and try to make up whatever they lost, maybe in a mistake on the flat. So you'll see times potentially going back and forth. So what's nice is that it creates a lot of drama. That's what GS does. It's a highly technical race. It's awesome. The fact that we have 2 runs makes for a really fun day.
Yeah, and then you also have the hot seat or the bubble, like you said, reversing that start order. You get that guy that comes down 15th, he's in the hot seat, and then the 16th guy, who was the 14th guy from before, bumps him out of the way, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so that first, there's kind of 2 races that go on the first run. One is who's leading the race, but also who's going to qualify for that second run. And to qualify for the second run's a big deal in the World Cup, the top 30 in the world. So let's hope for those Americans. It's going to be good racing today.
Okay, buddy. Once again, thanks for your time. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
Chris Anthony, local favorite right here, one of our commentators. Love to chat with him. We have weather coming up with Eric next.